Hey cutie, so as I was dropping a voluptuous bomb into my toilet earlier, I couldn't help but be upset, because you see, I was low-key struggling to pinch a loaf out, and if I were to get my bungus plunged on a frequent basis, it would be a lot easier to drop Nagasaki in my porcelain. And as this thought crossed my mind, I couldn't help but wonder which Overwatch heroes also struggle with this, and which ones have been ran through to the point where that shit just falls out. Now you may be like, Nox, didn't you already make this video, you absolute retarded lobotomite cum guzzling Neanderthal? No, Jarqueethus, I did not. You see, last October I made a list about which heroes have the most bodies in terms of murder, whereas this time around I'm talking about how many people have murdered their bussy and pussies. The tiers will go as follows. The higher the tier, for example S, the more bodies the hero has. And if they land themselves in F tier, they're celibate. So now that your brains have grasped this information, it's time we begin. First up to the plate we got Zenyatta. I'm immediately gonna put this droid in F tier because no one in their right mind is gonna tap a character who's not only a robot, but a robot who has a receding hairline and who also probably shoots out 5W40 oil every time he jizzes. I would genuinely rather shit in a bathtub for 10 years straight and go scuba diving in it like a prestige master Tom Pearl than even consider sticking my hot dog in Zenyatta's hallway. Call me Clanksist, I don't care. Unlike an 18-wheeler, my meat doesn't need lubrication in the form of motor oil. Moving on to Mommy Moira, I have a specific theory as to why she wouldn't have too many bodies. So as you know if you've seen one of my videos before, I reckon Moira reeks of a urine-like stench, but that's not why she doesn't get laid. The reason is because she's actually a secret serial murderer who has eradicated every lover that she's ever had, which is already low because she's low-key kinda ugly and disturbing to look at for more than like 3 seconds. Moira's the kind of woman who's very self-reclusive when it comes to socialization. She strongly reminds me of a Minecraft witch. Like every time I stumble upon one of those witches' huts in the swamp, I half expect to start getting my soul sucked by Moira upon entering it. So I'm gonna give her a D tier, as she's probably only got like 1 or 2 bodies. Next is Mercy, Elago. Now the reason I said her name like that is because this bitch goes through bodies faster than your average Mercy Elago goes 0 to 60. And you may be asking, well Nox, haven't you said numerous times that Mercy's just an innocent angel and that she's stupidly over-sexualized in the community? Yes, but ever since they released this skin, I pretty much lost all hope for the developers. This game is slowly turning into Marvel Rivals. This is the type of outfit your average college freshman would wear to the dorm's Halloween party, just looking to double down on their daddy issues. So I think it's a fair ranking to give Murky an A tier, as she's likely well into the double digits. Next up is the goddamn frog. Now you see, this may come as a surprise to some of y'all, because I think Lucio is of quite the sexually active man. Allow me to twist your tits a little. Very rarely do you see Lucio not smiling. And not only that, but he's also just consistently playing banger after banger whenever he's giving you health. Lucio is the epitome of team spirit. Very rarely are people like Lucio virgins, because they're constantly just lifting everyone up. And it also helps that he's extremely agile, which intrigues his romantic partners. Like he'd be the type of guy to have the most banger sex playlist imaginable. 1 minute you're slow stroking to Michael Bublé, and the next minute you're turbo joking to Freak on a Leash by Korn. So to wrap this up, Lucio's going in B. Next up is the Mogger himself, the man who's deservingly getting this season's mythic, Lifeweaver. Wait a minute, you're telling me they're giving Junkrat a mythic as well? Well boys, it's time to switch to rivals for good, I guess. Is what I would say if Squirrel Girl didn't exist. It really is just a fucking lose-lose situation, isn't it? Anyways, I weirdly think Loafweaver has a low body count. Not because he's unattractive, because no one in their right mind is thinking that, but because he's intelligent and savors his self-respect. Without sounding extremely gay, you would be honored to exchange your liquid ID with Lifeweaver. And I don't think many people have hit that jackpot, so I'm gonna give him my D, I mean AD. Nextly, we got Kiriko. Now I'm sure every one of you prestigious gooners watching know exactly where she's going, so I'm gonna make this relatively quick. It's a fact that for every skin Kiriko gets in the game, she secures another body in the bed frame. And with the amount of goddamn legendary skins this bitch has gotten, I think it's a safe assumption when I say this woman has had more men in her pants than Jeffrey Dahmer's had in his refrigerator. So congrats, Kiri Mains. Your hero's the first recipient of the S tier. Next up as well, you know, Juno. And you know, Juno is low-key a hoe on the low. Like, the number of bodies she has can't be below triple digits ending in zeros. So I'm gonna prematurely throw this bloke in S tier, cause the frequencies of which come from her throat really get down bad men up and going towards their zipper, and that way they can take their flesh dildo to the O. Okay, being honest, that shit didn't make a lick of sense, but I don't even care. Bro. Next up is Iari, and even though she's about as hot as an exhaust on a Ferrari, I don't quite think she's been ran through enough to resemble the texture of calamari. She's quite attractive, but due to her terroristic nature, it's a bit of a danger to actually engage with her. And I heard she pops her ultimate whenever she orgasms. So sadly for you Iari mains, this is just another list of your hero going in the bottommost tier. Maybe once you fuck stop dinking me across the map, then I'll be nicer to you. Next up is Brig, and I've recently taken quite a liking to this hero. I've been playing her a lot, and the more I do, the more I realize that she's low-key a bit of a freak. Like, why else would she constantly want her teammates to rally to me? Because she's trying to pull a Bonnie Blue and see how many bodies she can rack up in 24 hours. Brig's the type of woman you'll see at the grocery store dressed in those pants that say juicy across her ass. Now listen, I'm not knocking her figuratively because I don't judge, and I'm not knocking her literally because I'm not trying to catch an unknown weenie disease. So unfortunately for Torbjorn, his daughter gives off major thought vibes and she's going in S. You know who doesn't give off thought vibes though? Baptiste. Cause although he's a major bitch for having an immortality ability, he strikes me as a rather cleanly man. I'm pretty sure he was like a medic or some shit before he joined Overwatch, so that's what gives me that vibe. Similar to Lifeweaver, he likely keeps to himself a lot and reserves his lust for one or two individuals. Who the fuck just Snapchatted me? Bruh, I shit you not, my mom just sent me a Snapchat of my dog's face with that shitty ass like dog tongue filter thing. I didn't even know that was possible. I will say this though, Baptiste's Halloween skins are a bit slutty, so maybe when he was younger he got into some sensual shenanigans. To be safe, I'm gonna give him a C. Next up we got my father, Anna. There's a reason she has a voice line that says good kitty. It's because she's clearly a dom who snuggles up with whomever she pleases. I mean, she quite literally forces you to sleep. So what's stopping her from forcing you to sleep with her? It's been proven canon that every sleep dart an Anna player hits counts towards her overall body count. So she's in a whole other league of sluttiness. I'm putting her in S tier, cause she's bound to be in the billions. And also, the skin she has where she's younger rivals Bubba in terms of attraction. No lie. Lastly, for the supports, we got the new fish in the sea, Wu Yang. Now not only is this cutie equipped with a 6-pack of which rivals my own, but every woman he touches instantly becomes drenched from the waist down. Now that may be because he shot his water scrotum sacks at them, but I'd like to think that he's handsome enough to do that regardless. At least me personally, my nipples become rock solid and elegantly moisturized upon catching a glance at Wu Yang. So I reckon there's plenty of men and women alike who have gone head over heels for basic Chinese Overwatch hero, number 753. I'm slamming him in A tier. Nextly, firstly for the tanks, we got Russian Muscle Mommy. It feels wrong even assuming how many bodies she's got, because Zarya is ranking up a different type of body. She could pretty much sleep with whoever she pleases. But in terms of normal, casual sex relationships where both parties agree to indulge upon each other, I don't think Zarya is cooking as many courses as people may think. Because although there's for sure a hefty line of dudes named Harriet or Jacob that wouldn't skip a beat in getting their doonies beaten down by Zar, she's low-key, say it with me, kind of fucking ugly. You know, fan art aside, she's a bit of a poofer, so I reckon she'd be in B tier. Next up is the fucking rodent. Now I low-key get depressed when talking about him, and so let's just make this quick. The only thing giving this little twerp a fuckle sandwich is a dead rat laying on the side of the road. If your bussy starts ovulating upon gazing this hamster and you can't help yourself but start glazing him, you need to do us all a favor and go crawl under one of those concrete steamrollers. You're better off for society when you're 6 feet under the dirt, buddy. No offense. By the way, this also applies to the people who main him. Hammond's getting his boner ham-boned in F. Next up is an animal I can successfully hear somebody out on. Cause you see, although Winston's asshole is about as hairy as a fat bitch's neglected fupa, he still presents himself with utmost confidence. And at the end of the day, that's all that really matters in a man. So to avoid stretching this segment out more than my butthole in preparation for a gaping scene with Bubba, I'm gonna swiftly wrap this up and deliver a solid C tier to my boy Winston. Winston! Jesus man, I can't fucking speak. Next up is Sigma. Now this is a tad bit sad, but Sigma strikes me as a depressed dad. He doesn't choose to live in celibacy. He just can't bear the act of sex mentally. His mind is more staticky than the FNAF 1 security cameras. Every time he tries to get laid, the person he's imagining just poofs out of existence. It was all in his head. The only thing left is that melody that he just can't seem to put his finger finger on. So sadly, I'm gonna have to give him an F. Why is this so fucking laggy? Oh my god. I think my PC is about to explode. Anyway, speaking of F, let's get some Fs in the chat for the people who would never get the chance to experience a group goon session with this next hero. And I'm sure you already guessed who it is. It's Bubba. Just thinking about meeting Bubba in real life gets me hype. Speaking of hype, make sure you hype up this video, boys. Last video we almost hit 100,000 hype, and that number is extremely satisfying to look at, so please. But anyways, Bubba has at least 6,000 bodies. And you may be like, well Nox, how on Bubba's green girth do you know that? Well, let me tell you, because that's the number of people who watched my guide on how to be as hot as Bubba, which, after completion, results in you being blessed enough to coincide inside each other. So, I'm giving Lord Bubba the spot he truly deserves, which is the tippy top of S tier. Move, Kiriko, you fat bitch. Next up is Ryan Shart. Everyone who's seen Papa Ryan's cinematic can agree that he's a very cocky man. And before he got his eyeball erased by Orissa's sister, his confidence levels were higher than Snoop Dogg at any given moment. So I'm sure he's laid the hammer down on numerous occasions. And it also helps that he's low-key a stunner. So I'm gonna put him in B tier. Next is the man who's finally getting a skin this season, Ramatra. Now I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen this many people simp for a clanker since Optimus Prime. The amount of men and women and themen, is that even a word, who fap their shit to Ram is out of this world. You go in any custom game lobby and you'll see at least one person in Ram's nemesis form getting praised by an e-girl Mercy. And I mean, fair enough, he's quite the cutie. Just what do I have to do to get that praising? I think it's safe to say Ram's a definite S due to his overwhelmingly large, horny fanbase. And on the polar opposite scale of Ramatra, we got Orisa. Now I was about to say I don't think there's a single soul on this pale blue dot who's touched their tallywhacker to this woman, but then I remembered that one Reddit post I found with what seemed to be hundreds of Orisa R34 in it. Discoveries like this really make me worried for the future of our society. Because I only found that one post and I need more. Just kidding, just kidding. She's getting an F, don't get your panties in a bunch. Who's not getting an F, however, is my boy Malga. Because you see, although he's heavily hated in the gaming community, he's adored by the gooning community. Malga's got people waiting in line to bounce on his chesticles like they're waiting to get on a 5-star roller coaster. Bro is honestly blessed with his physical features. He's jacked as shit, he's Samoan, he's got wavy ass hair, and his smile is very noticeable. Oh yeah, and he's got 4 nipples. I'm giving him an A tier. Next up is Jorker Queen. Now I could sit here and harp about how hot she is and how there's probably 5 billion people in the world who would enjoy her buttocks smashing against their face, but based off of her lore and her cinematic, she doesn't give off the vibe that she'd be whoring around. She seems very methodical and meticulous. I could low-key see her and Ramatra in a pretty healthy relationship due to how similar I take them to be. But without getting off topic, I'm gonna throw her in the D tier, cause she's definitely not a virgin, but she's also not going through men like your mother, so. Next up is Hazard. Now I've never done hardcore narcotics like the shit Hazard be ingesting on an hourly basis, but from my experience in seeing people on drugs like that, they kinda make you a shell of your normal self. And I feel like if you're that far gone, you wouldn't really have the cognitive functions required in making rational decisions. So who knows how many strange creatures Hazard's launched his red rocket in. My guess is it's probably in the double digits, so I'm gonna throw him in B tier. Next is Doom, and he's pretty much Hazard without the fent. You know, they say Doomfist has a massive hog, and to make that better, he's got a way of giving you free express shipping by rocket punching his way through your bedroom wall and seismic slamming himself onto your bed. If Doom wasn't rocking the Mr. Clean Cut, I'd probably give him an S, but since his head looks like that of a newborn baby, I'm gonna toss him an A. Lastly, for the stanks, we got Diva. Now if we're being lore accurate, I mean she's got a boyfriend, but she's also an e-girl who's top 500 in the Overwatch universe's version of Overwatch, so the amount of men whose jaws would be on the floor for her rivals only the population of Earth. I don't want to give her a high placement because I know for a fact that it would be incorrect information, so I'm just gonna plop her in D tier. Although if she wants to hit me up, I could for sure help her in terms of boosting her rank. Firstly, for the DPS heroes, we got Widow. Now this French stick is quite literally a walking corpse, but I'd be wrong to give her anything other than S tier. I'm pretty sure Widow is the #1 most searched video game character on porn sites, and that's not just for no good reason. Not only does she have more violent curves than the Appalachian Trail, but her French accent immediately gives anyone within earshot a premature cum shot. And I bet she feeds off of that attention as well, so she's probably taken a few victims, if you will. Not as many as someone like Kiriko, but definitely still enough to be in the same tier. Alright, now Venture is a weird one, because I know they're like non-binary, but does that mean they're also asexual or what? Does Venture get active, or do they partake in abstinence? If their drill penetrates your skull, does that count as a blowjob or a lobotomy? I'm just gonna assume it's the latter and place Ven in F, because I genuinely have no idea. Next up is Tiny Titty Tracer. Now I think this question really just depends on the demographic of our participants here, because any American-blooded man would decline sleeping with Tracer due to her committing the atrocious sin of being a bean-eating British dumpling. Then again, in her hometown, I'm sure plenty of mouth-breathing British men who eat jellied eels would be down to parry with her punani on any given Tuesday, because although I can't look past her heritage, she is rather fit, so I guess I'll give her an A tier, because most British women have teeth that point towards the North Star, which makes Tracer a miracle. Next up is the man whose daughter gets passed around more than a cigarette butt between retarded middle schoolers, Torbjorn. Now for those who don't know Torbjorn's lore, this is gonna come as a surprise to you. Hell, it sure caught my panties in a bunch. I mean, not that I wear panties, but Torb canonically has like 10 plus children. I mean, you'd think he's a plumber with how much pipe he lays day to day. I don't know the details, like if they're all with different women or he's just got like a super wife or some shit, but assuming Torbjorn's wife isn't Captain fucking Marvel, Torb's in the A tier when it comes to bodies he's bagged. What an absolute legend. Next is Shit in My Mouth Metra. Unlike the next hero we're gonna talk about, Symmetra strikes me as a woman who's all bark and no bite. She'll send you spicy videos and invite you over just to cock block you by sticking a wall in your face after you just drove 2.5 hours through traffic, being stuck behind a 2016 Audi S5 with a muffler delete that was so goddamn loud that you couldn't hear your C418 Aria math the entire ride, so instead you resorted to sticking the extra small Magnum condoms that you bought for this occasion in your ears to hopefully retain at least a little bit of your hearing and negate the inevitable tinnitus that this terrible sounding vehicle is inflicting on your eardrums. So yeah, Symmetra just enjoys playing with her food and likely hasn't even mashed manginas with anyone, so she's going in F. Next is Sombra, and even though she shares a similar power to Sim, as in she can cuck you whenever she so desires, thankfully her personality differs. If Sombra finds someone she's attracted to, she'll blackmail them into cuddling up with her. She can just hack your thoughts and do whatever she pleases, so who knows how many bodies she's got. I'm just gonna assume it's a lot and plop her in A tier, cause there's really no way as to knowing the true number. Next is Soldier, and did you see the way he saved that kid in his cinematic? Yeah, he definitely gets some major poon. Anyone who can just nonchalantly save innocent people almost certainly smacks around Doonies in the background. And Soldier's a pretty old fella, so he's had multiple decades of experience stacked up. I low-key think he might be an S tier, as surprising as that may seem. Sojourn, on the other hand, gives off major drill sergeant vibes. Like, she seems very commanding and doesn't strike me as an open individual. I mean, she definitely looks the part, but when you're extremely closed off, it's a bit difficult to hit that second stage of sexy time. I do reckon, however, that she's been with at least one person, which, you know, I hate to break it to you, but that person was me. Then again, I'm just talking out of my ass here. She could be the polar opposite and I'd have no idea, but I think I'm gonna give her like a D tier for now. Speaking of giving people D's, next up is Reaper. Now, I'm not the one giving him a D, he's giving other people his D, because when you're constantly in a state of 24/7 pain, you need a way to combat those negative feelings with cheap dopamine hits. So he just rustles through his bag of thousands of simps and chooses one of them at random to fulfill his duties. I mean, he is a criminal, and there's quite a few people in this world who are attracted to criminals for whatever reason. I'm giving him an A. Next is Mama Farah. Unlike her mother, Farah is not confident enough to rack up thousands of tallies. That's why she resorts to flying high in the sky, so she can avoid confrontation at all costs. She low-key reminds me of the Huntress from Dead by Daylight. She just kinda does her own thing without worrying about relying on others' company. So I'm gonna give her an F. But let me remind you that that isn't a bad thing. You don't need to have 4 billion bodies to be happy in life. Next up is May, and I see right through this woman's bullshit. She tries to act all submissive and emotional when in reality, she doesn't give a shit about anything but what people perceive her to be. I mean, for Christ's sake, she woke up from her cryo chamber to all of her family dead, and deadass just brushed that shit off. She maybe cried for half a nanosecond before being all happy-go-lucky again. This is a dangerous woman, and unfortunately, there's likely been many people who have been deceived by her persona. May's the type of woman that when you finally get her in bed, she pulls down her pants, and instead of your eyes seeing a hole, you see a goddamn whole hog. She's going in A. Before I get into this next one, allow me to plug real quick, and that way I at least gained something from talking about this guy. If you ever want the chance to play with me and maybe even be in the background of one of my videos, you can join my Discord link below. There's also a link down there to become a channel member if you're one of the many billionaires that watch my videos and want to give back. Alright, enough stalling. Or should I say enough Stalin? Because Junkrat's pretty much as bad as Joseph Stalin. While Stalin was responsible for the deaths of millions of innocent civilians, Junkrat has reached a level of mass genocide that's never been reached before. Since Overwatch's release in 2016, a total of 50 million people have played the game at least once. This means that over 50 million innocent, or mostly innocent I guess, souls have been diagnosed with the cancer that laying your eyes on Junkrat gives you. The worst part is the people infected don't even notice anything different, but as soon as Overwatch 3 releases and the game becomes 4v4, every single person who's seen Jameson Fox's face will collapse dead no matter their age. The only way to negate this is by hiding in Bubba's juicy fat rolls. But even that's not a guarantee, because for some reason Bubba is like best friends with Junkrat for no reason. That shit will always and forever piss me off. Anyways, Junkrat is obviously a virgin, so he's going in F. Next up is the man who is finally back in his prime, Hanzo. Like seriously, as of season 18, Hanzo finally feels as good to play as he did pre-season 9. And I bet he feels good as F in the bed too, which is probably why so many people simp over him. So I know this was quick, but that's just how sexual experiences with Hanzo go. He's getting a B tier. Next is his brother. Now I'm positive that every single one of us geeked the fuck out the first time we saw Genji as kids. Like listen, I didn't play Overwatch 1, nor did I know like half of the characters, but Genji was by far the most recognizable hero out of the bunch. He's just a badass, and who wouldn't want to mingle with someone like Genji? I reckon he's a double digiter, so he's going in B, right alongside his brethren. Next is Freya, and honestly, I don't think she'd be a very good hookup. I just get the vibe that she'd lose her temper super quick and shoot one of those arrows of hers straight up your chocolate starfish and turn it into a crater. But she's definitely hot enough to pull just about whatever she wants, so I'm gonna kick her in C. Next is Echo. I really don't like her, and the way she speaks sends a chill up my spine, and she's just like awkward, man, I don't know. Her face looks like a translucent masturbator toy in the shape of a peanut, and her slow human-like blinks don't help in not giving me the creeps. I don't even know if she has any holes, and I really don't want to find out, so I'm just gonna throw her an F. Next is Cassidy McCree, and off the bat, you gotta be a next level Chad to be able to call Ash your ex-girlfriend. This dude is pretty much just the Arthur Morgan of Overwatch, and Lord knows how many people have developed parasocial relationships with that man. Cass is the type of guy to walk into any building in the world, besides maybe like a preschool, and instantly start getting catcalled. Bro's practically drowning. I almost feel bad for the lad. Definite S tier. Next is Bastion, and the only thing on earth that might be attracted to Bastion is the Roomba that vacuums my basement. Put this man in F. And finally, we got Ash. You may think she has a higher body count until you take into consideration her past partners. First off, she's got Bob, who's packing an absolute piss missile of a dongle, which technically I guess we don't know if they've ever hit the hay together, but I'm willing to bet they have. And for her second partner, you got Cassidy, who's probably packing just about as much as Bob. So after taking those two into account, there's a certain threshold you have to hit to get with Ash, which most people certainly don't reach. So I guess this means I can only give Ash a total of 2 bodies, meaning she fits perfectly in the D tier. And there you have it. This was a 100% lore accurate ranking on how many bodies each hero has. If you enjoyed, kill yourself. Love you schnookies, and sleep well.